Bellene Vasilika Mazidis che Pino en un café. Dans un rôle comme ça, je n'imaginais pas dans mon futur immédiatement, mais oui, je disais que définitivement, je voulais revenir ici à Montréal. J'ai parti pour San Jose, j'ai travaillé là pour 3 années. J'ai parti plutôt parce que pour avoir plus de connexions, pour avoir plus de responsabilités, pour de l'expérience et les choses comme ça dans une autre équipe de la MLS qui est loin de la maison. Depuis jeune, j'ai bien aimé travailler avec les règles de chaque ligue. Comme quand je lisais des choses, les livres, c'était pas des livres normaux, c'était les CBA des différentes ligues, c'était les choses sur le salary cap. Donc pour moi, toujours, je voulais aller dans cette direction dans ma carrière. Je savais pas que ça va me rendre aussitôt ici à Montréal, mais dans ma carrière, je voulais aller dans cette direction. Oui, quand j'étais jeune à l'école, les maths, c'était toujours mon sujet. J'ai allé à l'école grecque chaque samedi, donc pour 15 années, beaucoup d'années. C'était ma première langue aussi. Mais non, les chiffres m'intéressaient beaucoup. Mais pas seulement les chiffres, c'était la stratégie et comment former une équipe ou trouver une solution pour quelque chose comme ça. Donc ça, oui, ça appartient aussi aux mathématiques pour trouver une solution aux choses, mais avec la réalité des sports combinée avec ça, c'est quelque chose que j'aime beaucoup. Je sais que je suis un peu jeune. Oui, j'ai mon expérience dans la MLS, mais c'est pas de comme prouver à Rémi. La façon que je pense toujours, c'est de faire mon travail. Je vais gagner la confiance avec tout le monde que je travaille. Donc, la première fois que j'étais ici à Montréal, à San Jose, et maintenant encore, c'est juste d'être moi, de travailler fort, travailler bien, utiliser mes expériences, mon éducation, et essayer d'aider l'équipe dans n'importe quelle façon que je peux. Et je pense être ici pour 3-4 mois déjà. Je travaille très bien avec le staff, ils me font confiance. J'ai beaucoup de respect pour le staff, ils ont beaucoup d'expérience que moi je veux apprendre toujours, et je pense qu'on a une bonne relation. I'm always open to talking about it and stuff. I don't bring it up on my own, but from 10 to 14, so I was diagnosed with cancer. I had it 3 times. First time at 10 years old, then again at 12, at 13. So I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, similar cancer to Mario Lemieux when he had it. But yeah, I mean at 10, 12, it relapsed, and then when it came back at the age of 13, that was more of an experimental route that they took, the doctors. So you never know what was going to happen. Some people didn't think that you would survive. So yeah, there's a lot of things that were going on around that time that I didn't know if I was going to be here today, regardless of the position, just to be around. But no, it was definitely a difficult time, but it changes you as a person. You get to think, you look at life differently, you look at situations differently. It just makes you stronger. That's really what I believe in. I think for certain things, yeah, I always remember it's like, okay, I've been through a lot. I've been through tougher situations than the current situations that's going on. I'm going to be able to get through it. So at the end of the day, it's that situation, whether it's stuff that we're dealing with on the field, off the field. It's not life and death situation. So if it's not in that situation, then I'm able to deal with it. Yeah, no, I mean there was definitely no normal life. That's for sure. I think I missed a lot of schooling. I missed a lot of social relationships. I missed a lot of soccer. I used to play growing up. I was good growing up, but then the illnesses affected my play. But I think you lose a lot of that. But you have your close friends still coming to visit. You have your family always around you. I got my sister around. The doctors are there to take care of you. Sometimes you get special visits from people, whether the sporting teams in Montreal, other family members, friends. So you think about it, but it definitely wasn't an easy time. And then again, I was still young, so I didn't know all the details of what was going on. If there was something really, really serious, I think they were smart enough not to tell me. My parents would keep stuff just because they know I would freak out in a certain way. And I learned about all of this later on, how serious certain things were, how serious certain medications were. But I think in that moment, if I was told, I don't know what would have happened, or if I would have just wanted to go home. And so, yeah, I think everything is worked out pretty well right now. My parents did a lot for me, for sure. You know, they stopped leisure activities that they like to do. They stopped, they changed work, they did a lot just to be there for me. And my sister too, you know, she was in school every day after school. She would come to the hospital, so it wasn't a normal life for her either. But you know, my parents did sacrifice a lot for me, and I always appreciate them for that. Look, I mean, for my parents and my sister, they're always there for me. I mean, my friends are always there for me too, and my grandfather and a lot of family has always been there for me. But I think for my immediate family, that has been there with every moment of my life, whether that's being in the hospital, whether that's my career, whether that's my schooling, whether that's moving across the country. You know, they came to visit many times, but there's you know, I've thanked them a lot of times. I don't think there's a way to really thank them, but other than to say thank you very much for everything you guys have done. I always appreciate the support you guys give me. I'm always there for them if they ever need something, and they know that. But I think for me, it's important that they know that they mean more to me than anybody else in the world. So thank you for my parents and for my sister. So like in life is what I'm saying. So I think it definitely shapes you in a way where you start to think about other aspects of life in a different way. I like to think of myself as a humble person. I know it's not very humble to say that, but I like to, you know, I just being around and smiling and try to bring a positive energy to anybody that's around the club, whether it's the players, the staff, just some kind of, hopefully it lifts people's spirits when I'm able to speak to them. That's pretty much what I want to do all the time. I found out that it was really serious maybe 2 years after that. You know, my parents told me about it when everything was starting to get better. So I'd get like 16, 17 years old. But I think in the moment, yes, it's an option, but I also got the reassurance from my parents, from the doctors, from the nurses, from a lot of the friends and family, from the priest that came to visit. A lot of people, they reassured me that everything was going to be okay. And because you have everybody around you giving positive energy, I think it never really crossed my mind until I found out that it was a reality many years later. And then you can put two and two together to understand that people were concerned, but they were doing it for your own well-being at that moment. Yeah, I think it doesn't, no matter what the situation is, you know, if you're a young guy and whatever the problem is at the moment, I think you always need to be positive. You always need to understand that there is always worse out there, but in your situation, you need to be positive. You don't think that the outcome is going to come out your way all the time. I think that's a big thing, is the mentality that you go into it. If you have a negative mentality, it has a better chance of being a negative response. But if you go into the situation, you know, positively, whether it's a soccer game on the field, and you have the confidence that you think you're going to win, or if it's another battle, you know, off the field in the hospital, if you have the right mentality going into it, you know, there'll be a lot of support for you around. In soccer, it'll be your coaches, it'll be your parents, especially when you're young. At the hospital, it'll be your parents, the doctors. There's a lot of support around, but it all starts with you. So if you're positive in all the things that you do, and you really want to get to the end goal, I think you'll achieve that. But no, I mean, I wouldn't lose my Greek heritage, and I think anybody that comes from a culture, you know, the English, the French, the Italians, the Greeks, the Spanish, the Portuguese, there's a lot of different cultures in Montreal, and it's what really defines our city and our club. So for me to keep the Greek heritage is definitely important. I was born in Montreal. Yeah, I was born in Montreal, but my father was born in Greece. My mom's also Greek, but she was born here in Montreal. The Greek restaurants, I like going to Panama. That's on Jean Talon near L'Acadie, the original Panama. There's one, I think it's in Laval now too. Panama's good. There's a few other ones. There's Mythos and Milos, which is on Park, if I'm not mistaken. They good authentic Greek food, and you know, if you build a relationship with me, my parents cook good Greek food also, so it'd be my house for Greek food. Tout le monde me demande, t'es jamais allé à Grèce? Non, j'avais pas le temps. J'ai étudié à l'école, j'ai le travail, mais c'est à la fin de l'année. Après que j'ai fini à San Jose, avant de commencer à Montréal, j'ai pris 2 semaines d'aller en Europe, et une des villes que j'ai arrêtées, c'était en Athènes. J'étais là pour juste 36 heures, parce que j'ai fait 6 villes en 2-3 semaines, mais pour être là-bas, je voulais voir l'Acropolis et beaucoup de choses en Grèce. Mais c'était bon, même pour 36 heures, et je vais revenir, je vais aller encore. quand j'ai sorti de l'avion et tous les signes étaient en grec, je dis, regarde, je suis finalement en grec. Je suis 29 ans, je ne vais jamais aller ici. Non, mais après, quand j'ai sorti du métro et je regardais sur la montagne, Acropolis était là, je me souviens de toute l'histoire qu'ils m'ont appris à l'école, de tous les dieux qu'ils avaient, les choses comme ça, mais pour être en Grèce là-bas. Et aussi, j'étais allé regarder tous les stades, Panathinaikos, Olympiakos, AEK, il y avait 2 stades olympiques. Donc, en 36 heures, j'ai fait beaucoup. I don't follow the Greek league a lot, but I do follow Panathinaikos. My dad was a fan of them, so I grew up sporting the green. I know there's a lot of red fans around here. There's the PAOK and the AEK, but I think if I had to choose a team in Greece, it'd probably be Panathinaikos. It's not a very popular league, even like when we're trying to compare with MLS, when you link it to your work, you're like, well, I'm not going to find that many players in Greece probably, unless you look at the big clubs. So I don't have that much time to follow all the soccer, but I try.